What's up, guys? Raven Blaze Morningstar here, and I've just got the best example I have to ask. So I have a whole situation with a friend of mine going on, and I'm not entirely sure how to word this without honestly trying not to laugh because it's so stupid. So in reality check videos and posts on both my regular Facebook account and my actual Raven Morningstar account, I've been talking about how there is a specific group of people, generationally speaking, that have brain malfunctions, and it seems like we're having to go back to the same fucking subject. Because I have a very good friend, and I mean, don't get me wrong, autistic people, y'all all are special in your own way, but when someone threatens to, say, kick you out or berates you, which is bullying you, and trying to force you to stay quiet and not stand up for yourself, when, for an example, this is what happened to my friend and his roommate, apparently. The parent, it wasn't quite specified on gender of parent, which I'm not really worried about that. My biggest concern was a parent who says they love and care for their kid was claiming that the younger sibling was doing nothing wrong, but from what the friend explained to me over the phone, when the roommate's just sitting there chilling, the friend was talking to his sibling, and his sibling wanted to talk to the roommate instead of be a man, apparently, I guess, and just talk to the friend. Well, the sibling kept pressuring it, so the friend just said fuck it, wound up saying, okay, fine, you can talk to my roommate. All I know is that the roommate didn't really say shit. I think she or he was just trying to fucking really talk and explain, like, communication. And apparently it did not end well because the sibling decided to start talking over the roommate. Well, that must have pissed off my friend more. So he, like, went the fuck off. It was like, hey dude, shut the fuck up. There's a lady talking. You don't fucking, which I get that, that's fair. You don't interrupt over a woman. Men don't own women. It's not a property thing. And y'all have really gotta get that through your fucking heads. Because this story only just drastically worsened, because then the dad threatens to kick out my friend and his roommate for no fucking reason, and then decided to talk over the person more and more, meaning my friend, because he stood up for himself and his roommate. There's another situation where I had a friend at work that was getting targeted by their boss because they called out, and I'm assuming that the fucking job didn't decide to tell this person when they were supposed to call out, how it goes. Well, they didn't specify call or text. And then they bitched to their employee because they failed to tell them how they wanted that person to actually check out of work. Didn't give them the proper dates. Then bitch because they didn't do their job. Okay, so we're once again, if you were from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and honestly, I hate to drag in 70s people, but 70s too. Stop saying you don't like liars and you don't like thieves when you yourself are gonna lie and steal. Stop saying you don't like it when people interrupt you when you old people don't know how to shut the fuck up and let someone else talk and hear the whole fucking side of the story. It is 2026 and I am seeing and hearing it. Like, these are stories being texted to me, right? Because like I tell y'all all the time, reach out to me if you need to talk about shit, because life is stressful as fuck. That's why I say reading books like this right here, Disarming the Narcissist, you know, reading stuff like that, and understanding like how to protect yourself from this kind of negative bullshit. This is exactly why our government has fallen, man. And y'all literally allow the shit, okay? The elders that are above the 80s kids and the 90s kids, who, if we are real here, look at the 90s generation. Like, for real, all the way from 90 to fucking 99. There is such a sad mix-up of generations that did not get treated right because their parents didn't know how to be a fucking parent and shut up and listen every once in a while. They'd rather get up in everybody's business and, you know, scream and yell. Like, okay, for an example, I have a lot of friends that are stoners, right? And we are finally getting to a point that green is not such a big bad anymore. And there are still elders out there that want to start some bullshit. And I think it's hilarious as fuck because y'all are like, oh, green is bad. Y'all are the reason that it is bad, is because y'all run around saying it's bad and then make up some fake ass stories to try to justify it. And then somehow come up with some fake ass science proof. Like, come on, it's the same thing here. I feel bad for a lot of my friends because, you know, I talk about this a lot, but we are in 2026. This is literally the mark of 1,000 years from when the great evil that existed the first time started. And hello, y'all think that this is not a spiritual fucking war? My friend and his roommate now are being threatened and told that they could be kicked out because some sibling got their fifis hurt somewhere. And apparently didn't like the fact that he got told shut the hell up and let someone finish a sentence. God forbid you're asked to be respectful. Oh my God. You know, it's funny. Because that is exactly what the Bible talks about a little bit. Is as much as I hate to admit it, you know, I don't like what the Bible is because it's falsely written. A lot of it was not even written correctly when it was rewritten by King James, which, by the way, was a fucking warlock, which he practiced the craft, okay? He's got a whole fucking book on the craft. If you don't believe me, look it up. My point here is y'all read a book that was written by a fucking pagan and you think it's holy. You damn wrong. Just like you elders running around saying, I don't like thieves, I don't like to be interrupted, I don't like liars. Okay, then shut the fuck up, sit down, and follow what you say you don't like. If you don't like it, don't fucking do it, dumbass, or else somebody down the line, like me, is gonna come out and be like, hey, stupido, sit down, shut the fuck up, and learn some shit. It, again, you know, I understand that this is the final centuries of social media. I realize that. But if y'all are really gonna be running around destroying social media with AI, let's go back to the basics. Like, sure, you know, people doing the right thing. Like, I've seen a lot of AI videos where ICE agents are actually doing what they're supposed to be. I love the idea, but that's not happening. Let's give some realism. Okay, let's give a real life situation, like ICE agents not doing their fucking jobs and give a situation of what should be done and not using superheroes or some other stupid shit. Because that's not teaching nobody nothing. That's the whole reason the AI exists, and y'all stupid motherfuckers can't even figure that out. And then you got all these elders running around in the government and in citizens. And I work in a restaurant franchise where we deal with people pretty regularly, and I can tell you, the way that I see families treat their kids now is kind of sad. I try my best not to judge and not to say anything. And I'm not judging, but parents, what the fuck is going on with you guys? Like, okay, y'all that are specifically, like, I've noticed a certain age range, 50s all the way up to the 80-year-old people. Get your shit together. Because y'all run around saying you don't like to be interrupted, then interrupt your kids, and then wonder why your kids were rebels when they were younger. Because you didn't follow a damn word that you fucking claimed. And then you go running around threatening your kid because they stood up for themselves? Like, it's baffling to me why people want, and you wonder why I say don't trust parents, because they'll be the first ones to say shit and then do something completely different. And, I've got another friend who's several fucking, up north states away, and he's dealing with a situation where he's got a very abusive father that would rather verbally and physically abuse his wife so much she tried to OD because she did not feel loved. And it's men a lot of the time, and this is what people don't understand. The women act the way they do because for centuries, women have abused, hang on. Men have abused women. And then, when women figured out they could finally do it back, they did, and men didn't like it. So when men got a taste of what they were doing back to them, aka a taste of their own medicine, that's when it's, oh, you're abusing me. Bitch, grow up. If you can sit here and tell a woman you're gonna let them finish, then let them finish. Or grow the fuck up when somebody who actually fucked up with a woman that's a man and learned his lesson is trying to fucking spare you because he's got more respect and dignity for you, apparently, than you do yourself. Guys, this is the problem. Men do not know what chivalry is no more. Hell, honestly, I did it for years. But I like women. So I learned. And it's funny how, and I understand why women either go single or they start dating women. I get it. A lot of it has to do with y'all men, y'all stupid. Some of y'all are just stupid. There is a generational gap. Like, okay, for an example, most of the 80s crowd is okay. Like, I'm talking 80 all the way to, 89. Y'all fine. Y'all for the most part are alright. I mean, I know y'all schools didn't do you right, but that's okay. Because for the most part, y'all learned because your fucking parents were too fucking dumb. Then you have the 90s, okay? And I dated, mind you, I was engaged, not dated, I was engaged to a 95 baby. And let me tell you, that was fucking hell. That felt like misery on a stick because she was taught right, because I know the foster parents that actually had custody of her. She was raised right, as in she was taught to have morals about her, but did not have morals about her, and it showed. And, I've got another friend that, I'm assuming the siblings gotta be anywhere from, 90 to 95, because that's the specific range of where there's just stupid raising, apparently. Well, he's bitching, you know, about how his brother doesn't seem to act like a brother. And they both have mental issues. And it's like, you know, that makes me think of another situation, too, where one of my friends who has mild mental retardation actually was trying to have a house and all this other stuff and was doing so, and his sibling, who is also a brother, was not retarded and just did not do any of that. It's a choice, guys. If people with mental issues can sit here and proudly stand up and say, fuck you, and change and disarm the narcissist, why is it that the rest of y'all, from the generations where baby boomers come from, and an even deeper line, why do y'all not? Like, you would rather threaten your child in multiple ways, run your child down, and you wonder why your kids don't want anything to do with you. It's because of how you treat them, man. You don't tell your child, either to their face or over the phone, oh, I'm gonna kick you out because you stood up for your roommate because they got interrupted and it was actually rude. That's gonna make you, the person who's making the threat, look like you don't have a motherfucking brain cell at all, and people are gonna be like, do you need to be put in a mental ward? You sound retarded as fuck. And like, I really wish that people would just fucking say that. You're retarded, if you really believe that. If we would bring back the big bad R word, I bet you people wouldn't be such titty babies, now would they? Because they'd realize, when they keep getting called retarded by everybody, they'd realize, man, I don't like that word. Yeah, gee, I wonder why, you dumbass. And nobody has the balls to say it. You guys are like, oh, we need to hide our identities. Nah, man, you know, yeah, I'm chilling with sunglasses and a beanie, like original fucking OG Morningstar style. So why are y'all running and hiding your face? I can come out and say the facts. So what's y'all's excuse? I mean, come on. We are in 2026. If you guys can yell at your kids and you're old or young and you're threatening to kick them out over stupid shit because they have better balls than you to stand up for themselves or the people they care about, and you're mad at them for that says a lot about you, that you're pussy whipped and you're a sad sack of shit. Regardless of whether you like it or not, nobody's gonna give a fuck about what you like. Especially if you're gonna be dumb enough to think that what you're doing is okay. I am a 2000 baby. Believe it or not, that has a significance, and I'm gonna tell you why. But I'm gonna take a short break because, like I said, this is apparently an in-depth video. And, I mean, I need moments to collect my thoughts because this hurts physically to talk to you guys about over and over. But at the same time, I really care about my fans, and I want y'all to understand the importance of why people like this is why certain people wish death upon elders. Is because elders are, there are certain elders that get really stuck in their ways. I don't know if it's just me and I'm seeing shit, but I swear I saw something move back here. Anyway, elders don't have confidence in themselves, and a lot of it has to do with the generation they come from. A lot of them that came from the Great Depression, they were bitch whipped. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I know, because I have direct family that come from it. And let me tell you, my grandpa was pussy whipped for the longest time, and his wife didn't even like dick. She married him just so she didn't get hung for being lesbian. Y'all remember those times? Oh wait, that's right. Most of them are dead. Gee. Should say something. Anyways, on that note, I'm gonna return. Alright, I am back. So, the other topic I want to bring up is this. We are in an age, we're in an era where face-to-face communication is dying out. And I think I said this earlier, but I see it a lot around me. Well, here's what I'm seeing. You guys are preaching, you elders are preaching communication. But then when it comes to you guys doing that, y'all are not communicating with us. Y'all are yelling at us, threatening to, eliminate us in whatever way that you see fit. Because you don't like what we have to say because we tell the truth and you don't think it's the truth, but you weren't there to see it. Like, what's the point in doing that shit? Especially when somebody didn't do anything at all and you're gonna threaten them. Like, all you're doing is making it worse on you, the person making the threats. Because, look, I'm somebody that's went through some crazy situations. I've got my own story to tell on that because, in, I would say 2024, I went through a situation where that happened. And it sucked ass because I was kicked out. A story was made up as to why I was kicked out. But when the truth came out of actually what the real reason was as to why I was kicked out, I was like, what the fuck? Because the person sent a voice message, made up a lie, and a whole bunch of shit. I mean, it was kind of like weird story too. Made me uncomfortable to even hear because it didn't match anything I would do. And I had to sit there and take that. I've had people who have not sit there and have not witnessed me doing what I do and say, oh, you don't take care of yourself. Are you fucking me? Like, the same thing applies here right now. It's 2026 and I'm not saying that someone saying they wish death upon an elder is alright, but with how elders talk to certain generations and they talk to them like they're fucking dumb as shit, I do understand why somebody would say that. Because, I mean, you don't say certain things to people, but I think that people have forgotten when you say something, it's still spellcasting. So please be careful with what you say. You don't want it to actually come true. I know people don't believe in it because they want to claim this falsehood somehow and make up some elaborate reason as to how it's true. And it doesn't make sense every time. I've heard so many different stories and it's all fucking stupid. I was enlightened years ago to multiple realities, multiple different everything, to be real, Earth is a fucking prison, and originally humans weren't even the real fucking bait. So, yeah, like, y'all all want to sit here and say, and this is the thing that cracks me up the most, religion started because some really badass motherfuckers with superpowers showed up and then they became gods. And like, that's how Christianity and all these other fucking religions came to be. And I'm like, you look at Satan worshiping, I mean, it makes sense because he is the god of Earth. So yeah, I get it. And everybody thinks it's God. No, you're thinking of the motherfucker that came up with the idea for humans and then wound up not even fully joining and making them. So yeah, that's not God. That's just some motherfucker that decided to show up on Earth and happened to have a bunch of cool ass powers. But when you think about it, back in the way backs all the way to the early 1900s, there is a very simple-minded view, and not many people of any of those generations were truly enlightened, and the few that were either killed off because of it, or they managed to survive. We're in 2026. Now, people like me and others who are enlightened know who they are. I'm fucking Lyran. Like, those that have their memories, or at least most of them, they're gonna bounce life to life, and they're gonna try to guide all of the other people. But what we've all noticed is humans are very simple-minded entities, and it takes time to evolve that slowness out. And if you look at 2026, and let's just go back 20 years, people were stupider 20 years ago. And let's go back even further, 40 years ago. Oof, now we're crossing thresholds. I know some of y'all are probably like, oh, okay, shut up. I think I get the point. Yeah, okay. Point being, the farther in time that we go, the dumber humans get. And that is my point. The more fast we go ahead in time, the smarter humans get. The more they evolve. But it takes a certain mentality dying out for that evolution to happen. And that is making threats over stupid shit because somebody wanted to stand up. That is a dying mentality. Why? Because people are understanding you can't be inconsiderate of others. You have to understand you are not the fucking only person here. And if you're willing to say that about somebody, well, guess what, motherfucker? It's gonna happen to your ass for sure. Welcome to spellcasting. That's how it fucking works. If you're gonna sit here and say it about them, and God forbid they're smart enough to repel that shit back, it's gonna bite you in the ass and not them, and then you're really gonna wish you hadn't opened your big fat fucking mouth. But that's the problem. Everybody runs this shit all the fucking time, forgetting how much power that your mouth actually possesses. And then when you get into dog shit because of it, you're like, oh, why is this happening? Hey, you remember that time you shit talked that person? Yeah? Well, voila. There's your issue. There's why it's happening. What do you think karma is, actually, guys? Like, everybody talks about karma as if it's her own entity. In some ways it is, but that is what spellcasting is karma. Sometimes spellcasting, when you say something, it can work two different ways. It affects you or it affects the person you're trying to cast it on, depending on, honestly, skill, emotional level, and concentration. Is either going to actually affect them or it's going to fuck you over. And I'm noticing, and I hope that this changes in the future, and I hope I live to see it. Actually, I'm going to live to see it. There ain't no hope. I will live to see it, damn it. I want to see humans take just a fucking moment and realize, oh crap, I've been so rude, I've been so disrespectful this whole time. A lot of the shit that I've said has come back and bit me in the ass. How do I fix it? Shut up, sit down, talk to somebody who cares. If you don't have that, then I suggest a mage. If you don't believe in mages, well, I mean, a therapist, which, I mean,
wow.
that's a paid mage. So, either way, you're still talking to a mage. But don't let that bite you in the ass, for sure. But look, people, I'm not trying to target nobody. Excuse me.
I'm doing good.
I'm not trying to target nobody. But I'm gonna say this. If you're gonna spread your legs in half, kids, be willing to actually talk to them with a little respect. Because when you go and you run around and you start saying, oh, I'm gonna kick you out because you jumped somebody's ass, do you actually know the whole story, or are you just pissed off because you were told the truth and you didn't like the truth? Because that's where you're being disarmed and you're being a narcissist. And again, people like me, see, I got the proof right here. And I've done my research because I lived with a narcissist my whole life. That was my mom. And I'm actually happy that I studied and I did that research, because if I hadn't, I would have never known. So, do me a favor. Stop running your mouth in public. Those of you who claim you care. If you care so fucking much, shut up. When you're in the wrong. Sit down, listen to the whole story. Let somebody finish. Because, like, I mean, okay, the friend that told me the story about how the roommate's getting targeted, it sounds like the roommate didn't even do diddly squat either. Except probably try to say, hey, let's hear everybody out. Okay, well, this gay bitch is like, sounds like the lady was just trying to do the job, and once again, y'all don't care. Y'all fucking men don't care. And you wonder why women go gay. 'Cause of y'all dumbasses. You sit here and there's not very many men, by the way, that are willing to try to do right. There are a few. And I'm proud of y'all men that are trying. But y'all are like this compared to the fucking mountain of motherfuckers out there who are not that way. So, please know it's not your fault. It's not. A lot of the time, women realize eventually, but some of them just also know what they like, so you have to work with it. Or accept it, whatever they want you to do. But if there's a small portion like this that can do that, what the hell's going on with the rest of the male community? Because that's where that white supremacist type male shit comes from. I mean, look at our president. I mean, the way that my friend was describing this story, all I could picture was our president screaming at his son. That's kind of like the personality level that I was hearing. If the president's son had like a baby brother, and the baby brother, like, you know, took a toy and hid it somewhere in some shit, and it wasn't supposed to have been there, you know, kind of like that, right? That's what I was picturing in my head. And I was like, well, our president's definitely a narc. Yep. I need to make a video on this. So, you guys that want to sit here and say, respect your elders, how about elders respect us, and then we might respect them back? How about some equality, instead of some, I'm better than thou ality? I mean, You know, not trying to be a bitch, but I have, one, I have better respect for women than that, and two, I have better respect for myself. But I also know that communication is key. For an example, you know, okay, if you have kids, do you run around at your kid every time your child does something wrong and that child come out not breaking the law? Sit and ponder that. If you can say no, that child always comes out going to jail. Yep, bingo. So why the fuck would you be talking to your kids like that, elders? And y'all wonder why your kids go to jail. It seems to me like we have a serious problem here. And that problem lies with society. Now, why would society be the catch? Because society doesn't care. That's true. Society don't care. Because if you look at our government, I'm going to tell you a little secret. They lied to us. Reptiles have been running the government for years. They lied to us. Don't believe me? Then why is money green? That's just one question. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna let you ponder that. I'm gonna let you ponder that. But my best fucking comment for you is, for an example, like this candle right here. You know, it burns because there's fire put to it. It takes an action for that fire to happen. It doesn't just, you know.
Oh, come on, you would.
Right? You can't just snap your finger and that fucking candle go whoosh. So, if it takes an action to light a candle, it takes an action to talk to somebody right. Right? So, if parents can run around when their kids are young saying, when someone else is talking, you let them finish, then why aren't y'all following that when they get older? Why is it suddenly y'all's turn to overpower them just like they were kids? And it was all children are to be seen and not heard when you wanted your way. I'm just wondering why we're going back. Because this is why people say it's the end times. Granted, I mean, if that's the case, then the end times technically started 5 years ago. So, that's just me. But all I'm saying is, y'all need to pay the fuck attention. And maybe detach from a populace that doesn't really care about you. Like, there's a lot of people that understand they're not going to live very long, but at least they're willing to live their life to the fullest. I ain't quite got that yet, but at least I could sit here and say I wouldn't kick out my kid because they asked somebody to be more respectful. And I wouldn't sit here and threaten my child and tell them that they're not shit because, you know, their mom is in the hospital and they were there for their mom, or, you know, I wouldn't sit here and be running somebody down who doesn't have any parents at all and tell them, hey, you're a horrible person, orphans don't ever grow up, you know. All of these examples, and they are that, but they're just kind of put together from a bunch of situations I've seen and my friends have told me about over years and years and years of shit. I've helped a lot of people in a lot of struggles. And one thing that is common is it's almost always, it starts by the parent. It's always the fucking parent, man. So guys, fuck the parents. Stop listening to the parents. If they're making you feel like shit, you know what you do? You don't listen to them. Fuck them. And you get the hell out. So, short story, my mother was very verbally and mentally abusive, and I got the fuck out. After she held a damn sawed-off 22 to my chest and said, it's me or school, bitch, it's my fucking life. That's what it is. And I ain't looked back since. If I can do that, what about yo? Anyways, I think that I have made my point for right now. I hope to see you guys in another video. This one's gonna be a long one, but it needed to be said. See ya!